Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Quote of the day related to my topic: Be nice to the air, we all have to share. Assalamu alaikum. Today, the topic of my presentation is on the air pollution and monitoring of air pollution under kind supervision of Professor Dr Saira Afzal. Be a part of the solution, not a part of the pollution. Learning outline of my presentation is what is air pollutant, type of air pollutants, effects of air pollution, indoor air pollution, monitoring of air pollution, prevention and control of air pollution, recent update, and at the end there is an MCQ session. By the end of this presentation, participants will be able to describe about air pollution, its type, natural and man-made air pollutants, different air pollutants, how to monitor air pollution, and ways of preventing and controlling air pollution. Clean, dry air consists primarily of nitrogen 78% and oxygen 21% by the volume. The remaining 1% is a mixture of other gases, mostly argon, along with trace amount of carbon dioxide, methane, hydrogen, helium, water vapors, and more. And air pollution is contamination of the indoor or outdoor environment by any chemical, physical, or biological agent that modifies the natural characteristic of the atmosphere. According to WHO, air pollution kills an estimated 7 million people worldwide every year. Almost all the global population breathe air that exceed WHO guideline limit containing high level of pollutants. Low and middle income countries suffering from the highest exposure. There are two types of air pollutants, primary air pollutants and secondary air pollutants. Pollutants emitted directly into the atmosphere from a source such as factory, chimney, or exhaust pipe, or through suspension of contaminated dust by the wind. For example, carbon monoxide, nitric oxide, sulfur dioxide, possible to measure to the amount of emitted at the source itself. And the secondary air pollutant, harmful substance formed in the atmosphere when a primary air pollutant react with the substance normally found in the atmosphere like oxygen and water or with other air pollutants, for example, ozone. These are the sources of air pollution. The source of air pollution, mostly man-made, like industries, natural, like volcanoes eruptions, man-made by the burning of fuel at home, natural, like wildfire, and also man-made like power station. These are the sources of air pollution in the environment. And there are some other meteorological factors. Earth atmosphere extend to several layers above the surface. Man is mostly concerned with the 8 to 10 kilometer of atmosphere. Level of atmosphere pollution at any one time depend upon meteorological factors like topography, air movement, and climate. If topography is dominated by tall building and mountains, the wind become weak and calm, and the pollutants tend to concentrate in breathing zone. The vertical diffusion of pollutants depend upon the temperature gradient. When there is a rapid cooling of lower layers of air, there is a little vertical motion and the pollutant and water vapors remain trapped at the lower level and the result is smoke. First type of air pollutant which we describe is carbon monoxide. Carbon monoxide, one of the most common and widely distributed air pollutant. It is a product of incomplete combustion of carbon-containing material, such as in automobile, industrial process, heating facilities, and incinerators. How a carbon monoxide works. Mechanism of action. Carbon monoxide is most poisonous gas when it is inhaled. If it is absorbed and combined with Hb to form carboxy, Hb cherry red in color, which is a very stable compound. Thus there is a Hb left for carrying O2, normal oxygen, because the affinity of carbon monoxide is 200 to 300 times than the oxygen. Estimate of man-made carbon monoxide emission vary from 350 to 600 million tons per annum. It vary with the density of petrol-powered vehicles, and most cities have carbon monoxide peak levels that coincide with the morning and evening rush hour. The fluctuation is ambient, concentration is only slowly reflected in the carboxyhemoglobin level in human, as it takes 4 to 12 hours for approximate equilibrium between air level and blood levels to occur. Thus, environmental concentration tend to be expressed in terms of 8-hour average concentration. In this picture, there are symptoms of carbon monoxide poisoning. Carbon monoxide affecting the climate. When carbon monoxide is emitted into the atmosphere, it affects the amount of greenhouse gases which are linked to climate change and global warming. This means that land and sea temperature increases, changing the ecosystem, increasing storm activity, and causing other extreme weather events. The next pollutant which we discussed is sulfur dioxide, and the sulfur dioxide is the man-made source of sulfur dioxide is combustion of fossil fuels, and the natural source is volcanoes. Reduce sulfur dioxide pollution by flue gases desulfurization, and the health problems which are facing is breathing difficulties, lung inflammation, and the environmental problem with the sulfur dioxide is acidic rain. And the effect of SO2 on health. Sulfur dioxide can affect the respiratory system and the function of lungs, inflammation of the respiratory tract causing coughing, mucus secretion, aggravation of asthma and chronic bronchitis, and make people more prone to infection of the respiratory tract, irritation of the eyes, hospital admission for cardiac disease and mortality, and increase on days with higher SO2 level. And the health risk, a sulfur dioxide concentration of 500 microgram M3 should not be exceed over average period of 10 minutes of duration. Studies indicate that a proportion of people with asthma experience changes in pulmonary function and respiratory symptoms after period of exposure to SO2 as short as 10 minutes. Then comes the nitrogen. Emission of oxides of nitrogen occur predominantly in the form of nitric oxide, which comprise around 95% of nitrogen oxide from a combustion source. Coal is the most important fuel in this context. Other sources are road traffic and electricity generation. The pollution of far greater concern in relation to human health is nitrogen dioxide. Epidemiological studies have shown that symptoms of bronchitis in asthmatic children increase in association with long-term exposure to nitrogen dioxide. Reduced lung function growth is also linked to a nitrogen dioxide at concentration currently measured in the cities of Europe and North America. The current WHO guideline value of 40 microgram per M3 annual mean set to protect the public from the health effect of gaseous nitrogen dioxide remain unchanged from the level recommended in previously air quality guidelines. Now comes the ozone, which is a secondary pollutant. Ozone at ground level, not to be confused with the ozone layer in the upper atmosphere, is one of the major constituents of photochemical smoke. The highest level of ozone pollution occurs during the period of sunny weather, and which cause the smoke. When there is a combination of emission from industrial facilities and electric utilities, motor vehicle exhaust, gasoline vapors, and chemical of solvents are some of the major source of oxides of nitrogen oxide and volatile organic compound. When these two are combined with the heat and sunlight, then there is a formation of ozone, which is also known as ground ozone. Ground level ozone. There is a drastic effect of ground level ozone on the uh, on our respiratory symptom like breathing symptom, worse lung function, asthma and emphysema, increased emergency room visit and hospitalization, missed work and school days, and also heart attack. When there is a combination of these two plus sunlight, then there is a formation of ozone. In Europe, it is currently one of the major air pollutant of most concern. Several European studies have reported that the daily mortality rises by 0.3% and for heart disease by 0.4% per 10 microgram M3 increase in ozone exposure. The previously recommended limit, which was fixed at 120 microgram per M3 at 8 hours, has been reduced to 100 microgram based on recent conclusive association between daily mortality and ozone level occurring at ozone concentration below 120. And the other pollutant is particulate matter. It consists of complex mixture of solid and liquid particles of organic and inorganic substances dispersed into the atmosphere. The major component of PM are sulfate, nitrate, ammonia, sodium chloride, black carbon, mineral dust, and water. There are two sizes of particulate matter. One is 10 and other is 2.5. Particles are generally classified by their size. PM10 include those inhaled particles that are sufficient small to penetrate the thoracic region, and PM2.5 size fraction, which a highly probability of deposition in the smaller conducting airways and alveoli. By definition, PM10 includes PM2.5 and thoracic force mass PM is referred to as particulate matter. These are the WHO air quality guideline for PM matter, and there are two concentration which are given by the WHO. PM 2.5 annual concentration is 10 microgram and 24-hour mean concentration is 25 microgram, and the concentration of PM10 annual mean 20 microgram and 24-hour mean is limit the 50 microgram. And the health hazard of particulate matter PM 2.5. Short-term exposure up to 24-hour duration have been associated with premature mortality, increased hospital admission for heart or lung, causes acute and chronic bronchitis, asthma attack, emergency room visit, respiratory symptom, and restricted activity days. And the long-term exposure has been linked to a premature death, particularly in people who have chronic heart or lung disease and reduced lung function growth in children. Health hazard of particulate matter 10. Short-term exposure have been associated primarily with worsening of respiratory disease, including asthma and COPD, leading to hospitalization and emergency visit. The International Agency for Research on Cancer published a review in 2015 that concluded that particulate matter in outdoor air pollution causing lung cancer. Now comes the another type, which is indoor air pollution. The indoor environment represents an important microenvironment in which people spend a large part of their time each day. As a result, indoor air pollution originating from both outdoor and indoor source is likely to contribute more to population exposure than the outdoor environment. And the common indoor air problems. Source of indoor air pollution with cooking, poor ventilation, freshly painted rooms, scanted items, pet, high people density, and the smoking. These are the common indoor air pollution. And almost 4.3 million deaths due to indoor air pollution is reported. 22% in COPD, 6% lung cancer, 12% patients suffering from pneumonia, 34% is the stroke, and 26% chronic heart disease. These are the diseases related to indoor air pollutant. And now comes the monitoring of air pollution, how we monitor it. The best indicator of air pollution are sulfur dioxide, smoke, and suspended particles. These are mentioned on a daily basis over several sites. The results are then collected by a central agency. Sulfur dioxide. This gas is a major contaminant in many urban and industrial areas. Its concentration is estimated in all air pollution surveys. Smoke or soiling index. A known volume of air is filtered through a white filter paper under specified condition and the stain is measured by photoelectric meter. Smoke concentration is estimated and expressed as microgram cubic meter of air as an average level over a period of time. Grit and dust measurement. Deposit gauges collect grit, dust, and other solid. These are analyzed monthly. Coefficient of haze, a factor used particularly in the USA in assessing the amount of smoke or other aerosol in air. Air pollution index. It is an arbitrary index which takes into account one or more pollutant as a measure of the severity of air pollution. For example, the following index has been used in USA: 10 times the sulfur dioxide concentration plus twice the carbon monoxide concentration plus twice the coefficient of haze. It was considered to be a cause of alarm when the value of this index rose from its value of about 12 to 50 or more. Now comes the prevention and control of air pollution. Methods for controlling gaseous pollutants. The air pollutant caused by gaseous pollutant like hydrocarbon, sulfur dioxide, ammonia, carbon monoxide can be controlled by using three different methods. Combustion, the organic air pollutant are subjected to flame. Combustion, which convert them to less harmful chemical like carbon dioxide and harmless products like water. Absorption, in this method, polluted air containing gaseous pollutant is passed through a scrubber containing a suitable liquid absorbent. The liquid absorbs harmful gaseous pollutant present in the air. And adsorption. Polluted air is passed through porous solid adsorbent kept in suitable container. Gaseous pollutants are absorbed at the surface of solid porous and clean air passes through it. And method of controlling particulate emission by the mechanical devices. In this process, the particulates settle down by the action of gravitational force and get removed. Sudden change in the direction of airflow bring about separation of particle due to a great momentum. Wet scrubber used to trap SO2, ammonia, and metal fumes by passing the fumes through water. Electrostatic precipitators, when the polluted air container PM is passed through an electronic precipitator, it induces electric charge on particulate and then aerosol particles get precipitated on electrodes, and the fabric filter are also used. Now comes the recent updates. In according to the WHO guideline, the air quality in Pakistan is considered unsafe. The most recent data indicate the country's annual mean concentration of PM 2.5 is 58 microgram, exceeding the recommended maximum of 10 microgram. Contributors to poor air quality in Pakistan include vehicle emission, solid waste burning, and industrial emission. Seasonal variation in pollution exists, with the highest level of air pollution in the winter, December to March. Available data indicate that Peshawar, Rawalpindi, Karachi, Islamabad, and Lahore have consistently high level of air pollution. Pakistan Country Climate and Development Report, November 2022. This year, heat wave and devastating flood are a reminder that climate change-induced disaster can significantly set back Pakistan's development ambition and its ability to reduce poverty. These disasters have caused more than 1,700 deaths and displaced more than 8 million people. The damage to infrastructure, assets, crop, livestock have also been massive, with more than $30 billion damage and economic losses. The World Bank Group Countries Climate and Development Report for Pakistan released today's conclude that the country needs fundamental shift in its development path and policies. requiring substantial investment in people-centric climate adaptation and resilience that will require international support. December 14, 2022, South Asia is a home to 9 of the world 10 cities that the worst air pollution, which cause an estimated 2 million premature deaths across the region each year and insecure significant economic cost. A new World Bank report shows that there are economically feasible, cost-effective solutions to achieve clean air in the region, but this requires countries to coordinate policies and investment. There are three phases given in this report. Phase 1 set the condition for airshed wide coordination by expanding the monitoring of air pollution beyond the big cities, sharing data with the public, creating and strengthening credible scientific institute that analyze airshed and tackling a whole of government approach. And in the phase 2, abatement intervention are broadened beyond the traditional targets of power plant, large factories, and transportation. During this phase, major progress can be made in reducing air pollution from agriculture, solid waste management, cook stoves, brick kilns, and other small farms. At the same time, airshed wide standards can be introduced. And in phase 3, economic incentives are created to enable private sector solution to address distributional impact and to exploit synergies with climate change policies. In this phase, trading of emission permits can also be introduced to optimize abatement across jurisdiction and firms. This is the report on Pakistan Air Quality Index, and date is 7 February 2023. Nowadays, the air quality of Pakistan major cities are better due to rain and some weather changes. Mm, Like in Karachi, there is 187, Peshawar 129, Lahore 64, Islamabad 40, and the Murray 21. But previously, in January and December, the Lahore is most polluted city. The current PM 2.5 concentration in Pakistan is 2.7 times higher than the recommended limit given by the WHO. These are some solutions given by the WHO organization for reducing air pollution. Invest in energy efficient power generation, improve domestic industry and mechanical waste management, reduce agriculture waste, incineration, forest fire, and certain agroforestry activities, make greener and more compact cities with energy different efficient building, provide universal access to clean, affordable fuels and technologies for cooking, heating, and lightening, build safe and affordable public transport system, and pedestrian and cycle friendly networks. Now it's time for the MCQs. If an air pollution released or formed in the atmosphere, which of the following will least likely in long-term environmental damage to an ecosystem? Ozone, mercury, lead, carbon dioxide, or carbon monoxide?
C.
D, carbon dioxide. Ozone is formed by a chemical reaction of nitrogen oxide and volatile emission in the presence of sunlight. Which one is true regarding it? Ground zone is environment friendly, atmospheric zone is bad, ground zone is hazardous, secondary air pollutant, it is primary air pollutant, or a tertiary air pollutant. Which one is true? The answer is C. Ground ozone is hazardous secondary air pollutant. Carbon monoxide is considered as air pollutant in high quantity. How carbon monoxide emitted by automobiles prevent transport of oxygen in the body tissue? By changing oxygen into carbon dioxide, by destroying the hemoglobin, by forming a stable compound with hemoglobin, by obstructing the reaction of oxygen with hemoglobin, by forming unstable compound with hemoglobin.
C.
C is the right answer, by forming a stable compound with hemoglobin. The air pollutant involved in increasing the acidity of rain by a chemical reaction with rainwater, and a cause of acid rain is carbon monoxide, ozone, sulfur dioxide, lead, or H2O.
C.
C is the right answer, sulfur dioxide. Which of the following air pollutant that is released by fuel combustion and volcano eruption causing a serious respiratory tract problem and is a culprit for yellowish discoloration of Taj Mahal? Carbon monoxide, ozone, sulfur dioxide, particulate matter, or NO2, nitrous oxide.
E.
C is the right answer, SO2, sulfur dioxide. PM consists of a complex mixture of solid and liquid particles of organic and inorganic substance dispersed into an atmosphere. Choose the correct option regarding particulate matter. PM 2.5 is more hazardous than PM 10. PM 10 penetrate deeper to alveoli than PM 2.5. PM 2.5 has less long-term health effect than PM 10. PM 10 has less 24-hour mean than PM 2.5 according to WHO air quality guideline. PM 2.5 is less hazardous than PM 10. Choose the correct option regarding the particulate matter from all of these options.
D.
A is the right answer. PM 2.5 is more hazardous than PM 10. Which of the following is not likely to happen with rising level of carbon monoxide in atmosphere? Rise in sea level, change in location of desert, melting of glaciers, skin cancer, eye problem. Not likely.
A.
Skin cancer. D is the right answer. Sea level or rise with the rising level of carbon monoxide. A child residing in paint factory has a low intelligence quotient, less attention span, and marked antisocial behavior. What is the cause of impaired psychological development in children? Mercury, lead, ozone, aldehyde, or asbestos? A child in a paint factory. Which one is
Lead.
involved? Lead.
B.
B. Lead is the right answer. In combustion method of controlling organic gaseous pollutant are subjected to flame combustion. How it work? Convert to a harmless product like CO2 and water, converted to solid particles and then dispose of, converted to liquid fumes, combustion rather increase air pollution, converted to harmful products and then dispose of. A is the right answer, converted to harmless product like CO2 and water. A woman was cooking food in poorly ventilated room on a wooden stick for a long period of time. Initially, she feels headache, dizziness, nausea. Then she experienced shortness of breath, and after loss of consciousness, she collapsed. Which one is the offending agent? Carbon monoxide, ozone, oxygen, CH4, or CO2?
A. Carbon monoxide.
Right answer, CO, carbon monoxide is the right answer. This is the key of my MCQs, YouTube link of my presentation, and thank you.